Papua New Guinea, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Business PNG for the year 2015. The 165 million kina Kumul Flyover was opened this past Sunday, with all stakeholders present, including a crowd of over 500 people. The Hawkins New Zealand constructed infrastructure was a historic event, as this is the first in PNG and the Pacific region. The Business PNG team documented the event. The grand opening on Sunday the 31st of May saw Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, Governor for NCD Poes Pakop, and other dignitaries rally with a crowd of over 100 people on the flyover in Erima. What was once called the Kookaburra Flyover after the street it connected to during construction phase was officially renamed the Kumul Flyover by Prime Minister O'Neill.
I know everybody knows that this flyover is the Kookaburra Flyover, but Kookaburra is really not a Papua New Guinean name, you know. It is a name given to us during the Australian administration when they named this street Kookaburra Street. But I think it is important that we name this flyover with a name that is reflective of our country. And our country's logo is the Kumul, so that is why today we are going to name this flyover Kumul Flyover, representing our country's change and the new change that is happening in the country.
Now, the Kumul Flyover is prolific as it is the first in PNG and the Pacific region. The flyover connects the Jackson's international and domestic airport and the suburb of Waigani. Now, this is expected to reduce traveling times as well as traffic. As a gateway to the city, visitors who arrive in the country, and especially to Port Moresby, will be greeted by the modern infrastructure, and this will demonstrate PNG's position as a fast-growing economy in the region.
We are charting a new path, new road for Papua New Guinea that is now going to see Papua New Guinea taking its place, not only in our region and in the Pacific, but within the global community. That is why this particular bridge, this flyover, is the first of many to come. There will be many later on, but this is certainly the first one.
And this July, from the 4th to the 18th, Port Moresby will not be short of visitors, as athletes and delegates from over 20 countries in the Pacific will visit our shores to participate in the 15th Pacific Games, an event that the country and the city has been gearing up to for a while. Business PNG has been following and documenting the progress of the flyover since the groundbreaking, and has witnessed, along with the rest of Port Moresby and especially the suburbs of Erima and Waigani, the project gave a facelift to the once forgotten suburbs. Governor for NCD stated that the monumental infrastructure is an investment, not just for motorists, but for our country and our people, especially at the dawn of PNG's anniversary of our 40th independence.
Any city around the world is not just an ordinary city, especially a capital city. Yes, many of our people live in the rural areas, and they are entitled to that money. They are entitled to that investment. But equally, the cities are strategic for our people in the rural areas, because this is where the government sits. This is where the investors sit. This is where the business house sit. This is where the NGOs sit. This is where decision and ideas about our economy, about developing our people, about the pathway for the future is formulated, is created, and is implemented to our people all around the country.
Member for Moresby Northeast, where the flyover is located, took the time to plead with the public to take pride in the prolific structure and not to ruin it with the red stains of the betel nut.
Please, you respect him this road. No can respect him boy and tablo this road. Now I'm stop clean your mouth and no God. You mean you mean responsible people.
The crowd who gathered in droves to witness the historic event took advantage of the opening ceremony to walk alongside the Prime Minister and other delegates on the flyover, the only chance they would ever get to walk on it, as the flyover is strictly for vehicles. Coming up on the show, brand new banknotes released by the Central Bank to celebrate the upcoming Pacific Games. The Bank of Papua New Guinea launched the commemorative notes and coins commemorating two key occasions this year, the 2015 Pacific Games and Papua New Guinea's 40th year of independence. Minister for Treasury Patrick Pruach unveiled the 10 kina note and 50 toya coin commemorating the Pacific Games and the 20 kina marking PNG's 40th independence. Lorraine Guinea with more.
The Bank of Papua New Guinea recently launched commemorative notes and currency for the 2015 Pacific Games and Papua New Guinea's 40th year of independence. During the 1991 Games, the bank also launched a commemorative 50 toya coin and 2 kina banknote to observe the event. And with the country celebrating yet another milestone this year, this time around, the central bank has released a 10 kina note and 50 toya coin commemorating the Pacific Games, as well as a 20 kina banknote marking the country's 40th independence. Minister for Treasury Patrick Pruach said this was a small but significant event as it represented 2 important events in the history of Papua New Guinea.
The 10 kina banknote dissipates an overprint design of a Pacific Games, while the 50 toya coin has the Pacific Games logo on one side. There are 2 types of 50 toya coin, one in plain silver and the other in the colors of the Pacific Games of yellow, red, green, black and blue surrounding the logo. For the 40th anniversary of our independence, the Bank of Papua New Guinea is issuing a commemorative 20 kina banknote with a special overprint of a 40th anniversary of PNG independence and a national bed of paradise.
The banknotes will begin circulation with the current coins printed in limited quantity.
Following the launch, the central bank will embark on currency awareness to enlighten members of the public regarding the new commemorative currencies.
A total of 67.1 million kina worth of banknotes are circulating in the various denominations. The kina banknotes and coins are the most visible symbols of unity and represent our many tribes, cultures and 800 plus languages.
The banknotes and coins touch the lives of every citizens of our country. As such, they bring us all closer together. As you observe in the designs of our banknotes, you will see unique design features, the inclusion of traditional values that gave meaning to our cultures and traditions. Introducing a new banknote isn't just change for the sake of change.
Central banks around the world upgrade banknotes periodically to adapt to the changing technology, as well as implement the new protection barriers. Therefore, the introduction of new banknotes and coins are often not redundant.
The new commemorative banknotes include a new security feature which you have seen before. It is called the optical visible image and is a real innovation in banknote technology. OVI is a rainbow-like image that exhibits 3 traditional colors, where the banknote is tilted at different angles. It is the outcome of the central bank's objective to ensure that the kina notes continues to be resilient against counterfeiting.
Fraudulent and counterfeit notes are potential issues, and the governor for the Bank of Papua New Guinea, Lloyd Bakani, has assured the OVI security feature will keep the resilience of the kina.
Importantly, security of and the integrity of the currency is very important for any country at all. This is at the backbone of why central banks try to make sure that currencies that we issue are widely accepted, secured, and as much as possible durable.
Governor Bakani said apart from introducing the commemorative notes and coins, it was also to highlight the progression with the kina and the banking systems involved.
Of course, the tropical conditions here. We have encountered a lot of high costs during the times when we had paper notes. That's why we had to be first to move into all polymer substrate. So all our paper banknotes now are all polymer. There is no paper. The last lots of papers were demonetized, decommissioned. For some reason, some of them were finding their way back again to the country. So we, as of 2014, we basically stopped no more exchanging of paper banknotes to polymer.
In terms of distribution in Papua New Guinea, BPNG had found challenges.
Paper notes is very challenging for us and the banks. The banks are the main distributors of those currencies out in the rural areas. So you know that when you go out to your rural areas, your villages, you might find very obviously a lot of money that banknotes that may not be in good condition. So again, this is a challenge for us to make sure that we have a quick flow of or turnover of banknotes into the rural areas.
A survey had been conducted in 2013 on whether the banknotes could be changed, with the participants loyal to the current designs.
A lot of people don't want any changes to the currency, so we wanted to reduce some, the weight, the mineral content, because the mineral prices are high at that time. They said, no, we want it heavy. So when you drop it, it sounds, so it tells you that you drop a coin. You want it small? No, we want it big so that we can fill it in our pockets. So those are kind of responses we get from during the survey.
Coming up on the show, another edition of Entrepreneur Engage. Welcome back. Amongst the many challenges of doing business in PNG, there are some striving entrepreneurs who aim to succeed in their various journeys of business. In this Entrepreneur Engage segment, we feature the gifted young men of 675 Aerosol, IPA-registered graffiti artists whose work can be found around town. Business PNG had a chat with the young men to learn about their journey. We present 675 Aerosol.
675 Aerosol, we're basically a graffiti company. I had the inspiration to start up something like this when I was reading about Darren Cullen over the internet. He's the founder of Graffiti Kings, and everything in his story about how he started up Graffiti Kings was everything that was happening to him prior to him starting the company was pretty much it was happening to us with Salian and Island Breeze and how the art form was being slowly accepted here in PNG, and that's when I got the inspiration to start up 675. Called Benji over. He was okay with it. Called up Vandal, and then that's how we all started.
My name is Benjamin Dani. I'm the business concept designer and developer for 675 Aerosol. We are located in Gordons. We have been doing graffiti art for 15 years now, so we decided to do business on this. We have 3 tools we are using currently using right now. There's Facebook, public graffiti, and the actual 675 concept is the country code. So that is when you see your mobile phone, you'll see the number 675 in it. So, we did some for Stella Magazine, PNG Loop, like I said, and Island Breeze Limited, the ones you see around in the city. In Arts Theatre, Port Moresby Arts Theatre.
There's so much negativity associated with spray paint and vandalism, when you do something, like most times when someone paints up something with a paint, like with the paints and a paintbrush, everyone's like, oh, this is art, this is really nice. But when you try to do that with spray paint, they may look at it first and say, oh, it's really nice, and they say, oh, how did you do it? And so we did it with spray paint, they go, oh, you get a lot of mixed reactions from that.
Paint, our cost, we need paint, brushes, yeah, mostly to do with paint and caps, that's all. We are a small startup, so obviously we would need capital. Other than that, most of the boys that work for 675 usually do things for, like they are our friends, so they do it for free. So because we are a small business, we need them to work hours without getting paid.
My name is Jason Titus. I'm better known as Cradle. I'm a graffiti artist in 67Five Aerosol and also the IT specialist.
My name is Dwayne Piafu. Graffiti name, Dirty Rhymes. I'm 675's MC.
My name is Heinz Danny. My graffiti name is Still Free. I'm the drop specialist for 675 Aerosol.
Got to know these guys through Facebook, and that's a media outlet for them and a good way for many of our people to connect with one another. And because I'm involved in the field of expressive arts, I could feel the synergy and the connection with this group, and what they are doing is using their creative ability and talents. They're pooling it together, they're grouping themselves together, they're creating essentially a culture which is part of urban environments around the world. It's birthed out of the hip-hop culture, and graffiti is not just about aerosol cans on walls, but it's also about communities and young people coming together to express themselves, and it can take many forms. It also leads to such genres as hip-hop music and dance and beatboxing and rapping duels, and there's a whole variety of expressions that come about And again, I reiterate, this is an urban expression. This is what you'd expect in any urban environment around the world. And Port Moresby is in a unique position because Port Moresby is covered and divided, I should say, by fences. Fences divide our houses, our communities, our business houses. And we are unlike any other city in the world where we have a state of security that is unprecedented, where people are in a state of fear. And so in order to disguise this fear or to also prevent it from prevailing in the community, we are disguising it with our art and our expressions. This is what we want to see. I think when you drive down the road, you do not want to see a fence with barbed wire. You want to see something else to distract you and to remind you of our humanity, the humanness of who we are. And that's through the expressions that are done through graffiti. So this is just one outlet. And I'd like to also mention that when graffiti is expressed and it's done in a way that it's seen as an abuse or seen as something that has been that is illegal, we call it vandalism. And vandalism, yes, it is legal. It is illegal. Yet, vandalism tells us something about our community. It tells us about the people that live in our community. It informs us, and we need to be reminded not to judge the vandalism, but to understand it, to see where it comes from, where it resides. And this is the symptom of a community. It is like an ulcer. You can't put a Band-Aid on an ulcer and expect it to disappear. You've actually got to treat the ulcer, or you've got to allow it to flow in a way that it'll heal itself. And this is what graffiti culture is all about. When you see vandalism, you see a person wanting to express themselves about their dissatisfaction of their own life and the life that they have in their community. So I would like to ask everyone out there to embrace this new culture, to open your arms to it and say, hey, this is us, this is the future, come along and be open, express yourself, but allow this expression to come in a way that is acceptable for everyone, that it is legal, not in an illegal way, but in a legal way, and celebrates who we are. Because it's very important to be true to who we are.
And that's all we have for you tonight. For more business news, if you would simply like to view this episode again, visit MTV online at www.mtv.com.pg, or to join the conversation, like our page on Facebook for daily business news, or follow us on Twitter at Business PNG using the hashtag Business PNG. Until next week, have a pleasant evening. I'm Leanne Durari, and this is Business PNG.